Hey, what's up everybody? We're gonna have a talk here. This is gonna be the part 2 to, I think, yesterday or maybe the day before. I lose track of time, I don't remember. But this is gonna be the part 2 video of my BRS Rep gone wrong. After farther inspection of what was given to me, the knife is not as bad as I originally thought it was. So my original prognosis was that I was given undersized bushings, and the only way for me to have any handle swing at all was for me to leave the pivot screws insanely loose. Now, in my unboxing video, I showed that I was given extra bushings. So once I decided to give this knife a full tune, I swapped out the bushings, and when I put it back together and tightened the screws down all the way, I had a ton of tap and I had plenty of handle swing, which told me that the extra bushings that come with it are oversized. So when you buy the Bally Plus Rep clone, the bushings that come in it, in the knife, are undersized, and the bushings that they give extra are oversized. So that was actually really good news once I figured that out. So to those who don't know how to tune bushings, what you want to do, if they're oversized, this is for oversized bushings. You take the bushing out, you get yourself a piece of sandpaper, and you sand it a little bit. Like when I say a little bit, I mean like only a little bit. You only want to do a little bit at a time, because if you sand too much, then you're just going to be in the same place that you were before with an undersized bushing. And guess what? That's exactly what I did. So my bite handle bushing, I sanded perfectly. And now the bite handle bushing is perfectly tuned. I can tighten down my pivot screw all the way, and I still have plenty of handle swing. My safe handle bushing, which is right here, I sanded just a little bit too much, so now I have to leave that screw just a little bit loose for me to be able to have handle swing. So when you're tuning the bushings, you want to just sand a little bit, put it back together, tighten the screw down all the way. And then if you still have a lot of tap and play, then you want to do it a little bit more. And you just keep going on that process until you finally tighten the pivot screw down, you still have handle swing, and there's minimal tap and play. So that's what I did. And I'm really happy with the way that the bite handle one came out. I'm actually really happy about that one. This one, I leave that screw a little bit loose, and then I Loctite it so that it doesn't move. I only use, I use Loctite blue because I'm going to be heavily modifying this knife, and I want to be able to take the screws out whenever I want. When I decide to go and mod this thing, I'm probably going to be purchasing mods probably tomorrow for this thing. When I say mods, I'm just gonna purchase like other scales by other companies, or I'm gonna order actual hardware that belongs in this, because I heard that the clone hardware sounds like crap, but actual BRS hardware, when you put it in the clone, it sounds like it should. So that's what it sounds like right now. But hopefully when I get some hardware in this thing, it's gonna sound a lot better. And yes, I do tape this small part of the blade. I do that because that is the most common spot for you to accidentally mess up. So I do, when I use a live blade, I'm not used to the weight of this one yet, because today was actually the first day of me consistently flipping this knife. So once I'm used to it, I might flip it more often without putting tape on the blade, because when I go to flip my Kraken, I don't really tape off my Kraken that often, just because I'm used to it. But this one's got some weight behind it, and I kind of don't want to mess up, and when you have more weight behind the knife, you get worse cuts. So I didn't really feel like doing all that. So it's just a little bit easier to tape off that part of the blade. I actually did cut myself a little bit today, but let's see what else is going on. I thought I had something else to say. This is probably where people are like, all right, you're rambling again. I know I'm doing the same tricks over and over. I don't know what you want to see me do. There you go. Here, I'll also do a really bad. Wow, emphasis on the really bad. Does that count as a choker fan? I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I thought I had a lot more to talk about. But yeah, this is the part 2. It's still not where it should be. This knife, the edges over here can be pretty sharp. I might sand those down. Something else that I discovered when I went back to the specs of this knife, the liners are supposedly titanium. So I think what I want to do is make this like my Joker styled knife. I've always wanted to have like a green and purple knife. So I think I'm gonna get full channel titanium spacers right here, and then I'm gonna anodize the liners and spacers purple, and I'll find different green scales, because these are clone scales and I don't really care, because I want to get the closest to a real BRS as I can. And I'll probably end up purchasing another one at some point anyways. But that's what I'm going for, is a Joker theme. I think that would be really cool. And then I'm going to get a Frankenforge reblade. He's consistently making those all the time. So, well, I just wanted to update everybody and say, if you do order this knife, you know, it's not as bad as I originally thought. As long as you know how to tune some bushings, just sanding them down and, you know, oiling and getting your pivot screws to be like not overly tightened, but just tightened enough where they're not going to come loose, but you still have plenty of handle swing. If you know how to do that, then this knife is not going to give you any issues. And if you still don't, you know, there's always people you can send your knives to if you don't know how to tune it yourself. And there's plenty of people in the community that would be more than happy to tune your knife for you and then ship it back to you in a timely manner. So that's what I've discovered about this community, is everyone's pretty good about getting your knives back to you. Everyone knows they don't want to be apart from their knife for too long. So everyone seems to be pretty understanding. Update on my my Kraken. I did get the Frankenforge blade for that, and I'm going to be sending that back to him because it has a little bit of issues. Right here, I'll show you. Right here is a little bit uneven, so it makes the space between the handles a little bit weird. So I'm going to send that back to him. He said that he's going to fix it as long as I pay for shipping. So I definitely recommend him. He sells his blades. I think he's only doing rep blades right now, but you can find him on Instagram at Frankenforge, or no, Frankenforge. He makes some really good stuff. Damascus, and then like milled blades. There's a lot of good stuff. I think his blades go for about $250, which is a pretty good price for handmade steel, it's pretty cool. I think it's probably my favorite mod. I mean, the whole point of having a knife is having a nice blade after all. So All right, guys, well, I hope you like this update on this knife. Not as bad as I originally thought. Still not the greatest, but you got to keep in mind, this is a clone. And this thing was only $60, where the real BRS Rep, even used, because I only buy used stuff. So my video recording just stopped because my phone got overheated standing in the sun. I cannot believe that just happened. That's never happened to me before. But I think I was saying something on the lines of like, I only buy used knives because the prices of real stuff is just like, or not real stuff, but like brand new is just crazy expensive. So the price of new reps to, you know what, I haven't even looked into it. I know a lot of used prices because that's like mainly where I look. Even a used rep that was beat to hell sells, I think the cheapest I saw was $280. And then a regular non-modded rep sells for about $380. And then, oh, I'm not even flipping on camera. And then a heavily modded, really good condition one will go anywhere from $400 to $600 depending on what mods have been done. So I mean, the price difference depending on what you do on these things is crazy. So I'm going to be looking into modding this a lot more. I kind of already told you guys my idea and plan. So I'm going to end the video here and just end it on this knife isn't that bad for $60. I mean, you still can't go wrong as long as you can tune the knife. I think this is a good deal. $60 versus $300 to $600. Yeah, that's a big difference. So, all right, guys, I will continue to update you guys when I buy some mods for this thing and do like install. And then if I get new bushings for this, I'll probably make a video on how to tune bushings. So until then, stay flipping. Try not to cut yourself. You know, all that good stuff. You probably will, but I already cut myself today. So, all right, guys, take it easy. Peace.